really is an incredible job. I find myself very fortunate to have a job that I enjoy coming to work every day, wake up every morning excited to come to work. We have a lot of different missions at the Sheriff's Office Air Unit. We safeguard the people in the property of Leon County and keep people safe and whatnot, but we help the guys on the ground, whether it's patrol officers from the police department or the Sheriff's Office. Our job is to help them out and see things that they can't normally see.
So, probably the biggest piece of equipment on board is thermal camera, which lets us see at night. So we've got somebody lost in the woods, they can't find their way out, we can quickly go find that, or a fleeing felon that may have run off. That'll help us do that. That's a real handy piece of equipment. The communication gear on the airplane, that we can talk to every agency everywhere around, so we can go assist them with that equipment. Technology does change quick, just like our cell phones, the technology changes, and it does the same here, and we try to keep up with that technology. The air unit here started in 1974 with a Bell 47 helicopter. This is the helicopter that's on MASH. So that gives you some perspective of what we started with. We now operate the Bell 505 Jet Ranger. This is a 2020 aircraft equipped with all of the law enforcement bells and whistles. So searchlight back here. Searchlight obviously has been on the aircraft forever. When I started this, we used a pair of binoculars and a searchlight was what we used. That was the technology. Things have changed a lot in those years. So capable searchlight here. On the front of the aircraft, we have our cameras that are gyro stabilized that allow us to see in the daytime, and also using thermal imagery at night. All of this video that we take here, if it's part of a criminal case, is submitted as evidence. So now we have real-time video evidence just like body cameras or a dash cam there too. The aircraft are also all equipped with an extensive communication suite, which allows us to talk to every agency, police, sheriffs, fire departments within our geographical response region.
Airport.
Yep. All right, you're up.
So generally we fly with a crew of 2 people, a pilot. The pilot sits in the right-hand seat. The guy in the left seat is what's known as the tactical flight officer. The pilot flies the aircraft and puts the aircraft into a position where the tactical flight officer can do his or her job. We're part of the same crew that are striving for the same mission, which is to accomplish whatever goal we're looking to accomplish or to help the guys on the ground. We're all law enforcement officers as well as pilots. So not only are we responsible for all of the things that a road deputy might be responsible for as far as training and education, we also have another complete separate job of being a pilot that we also are responsible for maintaining a whole bunch of standards and accreditation. So it's a pretty deep job. There's a lot that goes into it, and you have to be a fairly dedicated person to be able to get there. You'll spend months, if not years, learning how to use the proper equipment, learning how to fly in the way that we fly, which is a little bit different from your typical commercial pilot. So there is a pretty in-depth training process that we use here. And it's no different than if you were a deputy going through field training. We have the same kind of program here, but just for flight officers and pilots.
We have almost 60,000 hours of flight time, 187 years of law enforcement experience, 85 years of military experience, and 3 service branches represented in that. We have deputy pilots. We've got city police officers that are assigned to us as tactical flight officers. We've got 9 people here now. We are the air asset for this Region 2 in North Florida, so we cover our 13-county region. It's the whole panhandle up here, basically. We'll also respond outside of that if we get another county that calls. The sheriffs have mutual aid agreements that they'll help each other, and we're part of that response often.
So succeeding isn't always catching the bad guy. Sometimes it could be finding the missing person that's wandered off into the woods. Sometimes it can be, finding the overturned boat out in the middle of the lake. When
we find the lost person in the woods, the Alzheimer's patient that's wandered off, there's some great satisfaction in that when we have a positive outcome of that. Or catching the fleeing felon that has just committed some sort of bodily felony, and hurt somebody. And when we're part of stopping that means a lot.
We kind of measure mission success when a guy from the ground keys up the radio after the event is done and says, "Hey, thanks everyone, we wouldn't have caught that guy without you."
So what I like about this is we get to make a difference in our community in a very unique way with some specialized equipment and a specialized skill set. Being able to make a difference daily using those specialized skills, I think is a great thing. We've seen news stories where New York and whatnot, they'll send up airplanes that just take hours and hours of video and go back and look at it later. It's not what we do. We're doing the same thing as a guy in a car.
You know, we have a very targeted aspect of the way we do our business, and you know, we're not out there spying on people. We're not surveilling people. The first thing they always ask is, do we give out speeding tickets from the air? Which we don't. We don't really concern ourselves with those kind of tasks. We just assist the guys on the ground. Whatever they're doing, that's what we're there to help with. We have a vantage point that you just can't see on the ground. And there's things that we can see in the aircraft that you just can't see from the ground.
Really, our job is no different than a guy in a car riding on the road. He's looking at things, looking for the crime happening or looking for the lost person that needs to be found. We do the same thing. We just do it from a different vantage point.